Most people think billionaires are obsessed with making money. But what if the real obsession is making everyone else spend it? Not through force, not through conspiracy, just through psychology so effective. Most people never even notice it happening because in modern America and Europe, the system doesn't need you to stay poor forever. It only needs you to stay financially distracted. Imagine a 28-year-old office worker in Chicago, or London, or Berlin. He earns around $4,500 a month after taxes, which sounds reasonable at first. But then reality starts. Subtracting from that number, rent, wait 800 car payment, 550 insurance, another, 200 student loan, 350 subscriptions, food delivery, weekend spending, credit card minimums. Suddenly, there's maybe $300 left at the end of the month, and even that disappears during one stressful week. Now here's the uncomfortable part. This person is not irresponsible. He works hard, pays bills on time, probably has a degree, maybe, even got a promotion recently, yet financially, he's barely moving. Meanwhile, the people at the top, billionaires, large shareholders, asset owners, keep becoming dramatically wealthier during the exact same economics conditions. That's not an accident, because the modern economy quietly rewards ownership far more than labor, and most people are psychologically trained to focus almost entirely on consumption. That training starts early. You're taught how to get a job, how to interview, how to build a resume, but almost nobody teaches you how debt changes behavior or how lifestyle inflation slowly destroys financial freedom without looking dangerous. Billionaire understands something most people don't. Person with high monthly obligations becomes predictable, and predictable people are extremely profitable. Think about it. If your rent, loans, and car payments require $4,000 every single month just to survive, then your ability to take risks disappears. You can't easily quit a toxic job. You can't wait patiently for better opportunities. You can't think long-term. You become dependent on continuous income. That dependency creates a very obedient consumer, and modern marketing knows this perfectly. Why do luxury brands spend billions making ordinary products feel like status symbols? Because humans are emotional imitators, especially under stress. A person who feels insecure financially often spends more, not less, not because they're stupid, because spending temporarily creates emotional relief. Buying something expensive creates the illusion of progress. It feels like success without requiring actual financial stability. And billion-dollar companies understand this psychology extremely well. That's why some people earning $60,000 look rich online while quietly carrying $25,000 in credit card debt. The appearance matters more than the math. Now let's look at the math nobody likes. Discussing. Imagine someone finances a $45,000 5-year loan, 11% interest. The payment ends up around $900 per month, including insurance and maintenance. That's over $10,000 per year going into a depreciating asset over 10 years. With upgrades and replacements, the total cost can quietly exceed $120,000, not because the person is reckless, because the system normalized it. Now compare that to someone who buys a reliable used car and invests the difference consistently into broad index funds. Nothing glamorous happens. Immediately, no compliments, no social media, validation. But after 15 or 20 years, the financial gap becomes enormous, and this is where billionaire psychology becomes important. Wealthy people often delay visible consumption much longer than middle-class consumers expect, because truly wealthy people understand that cash flow creates freedom, not appearances. The irony is that many middle-class households buy luxury experiences specifically to feel temporarily closer to wealth, while wealthy investors quietly buy assets that produce more income One group purchases symbols, the other purchases leverage, and over time, that small psychological difference changes entire lives. This is why financially intelligent people tend to ask very different questions. Instead of, "Can I afford this monthly payment?" they quietly ask, "What will this cost me in future freedom?" That question changes everything because money is rarely just math. It's emotion, identity, stress, comparison, fear of falling behind. And billionaires understand human behavior better than most people understand themselves. Not so because they're evil masterminds, but because modern business is built around predicting attention, habits, insecurity, and desire. The people who control those systems benefit when consumers stay reactive instead of reflective, which is why awareness matters more than motivation. You don't need to become obsessed with money. You don't need extreme discipline, and you definitely don't need to hustle 20 hours a day. But understanding the psychology behind spending, debt, and status can quietly protect you from financial decisions that steal decades of freedom without looking dangerous in the moment. Because the real difference between wealthy thinking and consumer thinking often isn't intelligence, it's patience. If you found this perspective useful, consider subscribing for more calm, reality-based financial discussions.